This is Nightline.
Tonight, the shocking plea deal in the Idaho college murders trial.
911 location of your emergency. Something is happening.
Brian Kohberger, the man accused of the horrific slaying of 4 friends and housemates, agreeing to plead guilty.
He basically chose the way he's going to die. Not by lethal injection or by a firing squad, but instead in the confines of a prison.
Why some victims' families say they are outraged. Plus, the Chrisleys' life after lockup.
I don't have an apology to give you or anyone else over the money that I've made.
Defiantly unfiltered and unapologetic, fresh out of federal prison. Todd and Julie Chrisley, who rose to fame with their outlandish show, Chrisley Knows Best.
I'll make a deal with you. You don't drop it like it's hot. And I won't drop it like it's hot.
Granted a controversial presidential pardon.
What is your response, though, to people who say, you know, you wear the MAGA hat, you speak at the RNC, this is pure political favoritism?
Firing back in their own style.
Would I have slept with someone to get one of my children home? I'd have sold tickets to the show that my daughter didn't have to do.
What they say about walking free. And Beyoncé's mid-air mishap. Stop. The high-in-the-air scare that halted Queen Bee's show.
From ABC News headquarters in New York, this is Nightline.
Thanks for joining us. Tonight, a stunning development in the Idaho murders case that gripped the nation. Brian Kohberger, awaiting trial for the brutal murders of 4 friends and college roommates, suddenly agreeing to a plea deal. Why some family members are outraged. Here's ABC's Kana Whitworth.
Brian Kohberger, the man accused of the quadruple murder of the University of Idaho students tonight, agreeing to plead guilty on all counts. The former criminology PhD student accused in the 2022 murders, sparing himself the death penalty by accepting a plea deal and waiving his right to appeal.
As we're on the verge of a trial starting against Brian Kohberger, we see not only an offer, but a plea agreement made for Brian Kohberger, sparing him the death penalty. This is somewhat shocking, but 11th hour plea deals, they happen all the time.
His trial was set to begin in August.
For Brian Kohberger, looking at the plea deal of 4 consecutive life sentences or facing the death penalty, he basically chose the way he's going to die. Not by lethal injection or by a firing squad, but instead in the confines of a prison.
Kohberger is accused of stabbing 4 college students to death: Kaylee Gonzalez, Madison Mopkin, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin. It happened in a now demolished off-campus home.
911 location of your emergency. Something is happening.
This morning, close friends of the victims spoke to ABC News about that November day when they discovered their friends brutally murdered.
I don't think anyone expects anything like that ever in their life to happen.
Hunter Johnson and his girlfriend, Emily Allant, now telling their story in a new Prime Video docuseries, One Night in Idaho, The College Murders.
We were a big group of friends. Why would you target those 4?
In a case that has gripped the nation, every new detail adding to the shock of what happened.
Something happened in our house. We don't know what.
From a chilling 911 phone call.
One of the roommates has passed out, and she was drunk last night and she's not waking up. Okay. Oh, and they saw some man in their house last night.
To selfies released in court records, prosecutors saying the suspect took it just hours after allegedly murdering those 4 students and leaving a horrific scene behind. That night, Kaylee and Maddie, newly 21 and lifelong best friends, went to a popular campus bar around 10 p.m. They're later seen at the grub truck, laughing and ordering food. This video appears to be the last time they were seen alive. Authorities say their roommate Xana and her boyfriend Ethan, both 20, were at a fraternity party earlier that same night, arriving home around 1:45 a.m. Hunter was the first person to arrive at King Road after the killings to discover what happened to their friend Josie Louderin, who was also there, describing the moments in the docuseries.
As soon as I stepped in the house, I was like, oh, something is so not right. Like, you could feel it almost. Hunter was ahead of me and Emily and immediately was pushed out, and Hunter was like, get out, somebody call 911.
You hear Hunter on the 911 call telling the girls there was an unconscious person protecting them from the graphic details.
Is she breathing?
No.
How did you remain so calm in that moment?
Truly, in my heart, I believe God was with me that day, and he gave me the strength to get through that day.
And weeks later, Kohberger was arrested at his parents' home in Pennsylvania.
Last night, detectives arrested 28-year-old Brian Christopher Kohberger.
And since his arrest, prosecutors have maintained that surveillance footage, cell phone records, and DNA evidence link Kohberger to the murders. The linchpin, Kohberger's own DNA.
It was found on a knife sheath where 4 people were killed by a knife. This is as crime scene as it gets.
Throughout the last few months, we saw setback after setback for the defense as they asked for more time. They used a diagnosis of autism spectrum disorder to try to remove the death penalty, or even fail to try to get information suppressed.
The next hearing in this case is scheduled for this Wednesday, where Kohberger is expected to officially change his plea. Prosecutors anticipate sentencing to take place in late July.
Kaylee is like the definition of sunshine.
To know Kaylee was to love Kaylee.
If I had 1 or 2 words to describe Maddie Mae, it would be just an angel. She just made me proud. Yeah.
And tonight, in a statement to ABC News, the Gonzalez family accused prosecutors of mishandling the plea deal, saying in part, "This is how it concludes, with a secretive deal and a hurried effort to close the case without any input from the victims' families on the plea's details," adding Layton County should be ashamed of its prosecutor's office. And according to TMZ, the family of Xana Kernodle is livid over the plea deal, saying they are going to fight it. Today, prosecutors sent a letter to the families writing in part, "This resolution is our sincere attempt to seek justice for your family."
The prosecution has a heavy decision to make. Do they pursue the death penalty or something less against the defendant? Or do they spare not only the victims, but their family members from going through the testimony, exhibits, and everything of what would have been a very gruesome scene?
Who they are as people is so much more than the Idaho 4, and they shouldn't be known as the Idaho 4, and they shouldn't be attached to, you know, the name of who did that to them. And I just think that, you know, hopefully one day that they're just seen as who they are and not what happened to them.
Our thanks to Kana. Up next, the Chrisley family tells all, from their time in federal lockup to walking free after daughter Savannah's Hail Mary presidential pardon win, how they kept busy behind bars. Welcome back. Tonight, fresh out of federal lockup, thanks to a presidential pardon, Todd and Julie Chrisley agreed to sit down with me for a wide-ranging interview. The wealthy real estate family turned reality show celebrities. Their lavish lifestyle and rapid-fire banter earned them fame until they were convicted of fraud. They both say prison humbled them, yet they remain very much themselves.
How's it going? How does it feel?
You don't realize the things that you took for granted until you don't have it.
What are the big things and the little things that you've missed, Julie?
My children and my husband. You know, I missed birthdays and holidays and graduations and things I can never get back. So now I just have to focus on what's ahead of us.
It's been a month since Todd and Julie Chrisley walked out of federal prison after being convicted on 12 counts of wire fraud, bank fraud, and tax evasion in 2022. They were in the midst of serving 12 and 7-year sentences.
We are freaking out over here. Well, I have shed so many tears. The president called me personally.
Your parents are going to be free and clean, and I hope we can do it by tomorrow.
Donald Trump surprised them with a presidential pardon after their daughter's sustained campaign to win their freedom.
What is your response, though, to people who say, you know, you wear the MAGA hat, you speak at the RNC, this is pure political favoritism, they don't deserve...
For sure. I get it. I get how it could look that way, but for me, I've also lost a lot along the way.
It's almost like a rebirth.
Todd Chrisley made his money as a real estate developer. The family's series, Chrisley Knows Best, giving a peek into his family's lavish lifestyle.
This is my closet. Things are organized by season. Something that's not right here, and this should not be here. In a year, we probably spend $300,000, sometimes more, just on clothing.
What was the first normal thing you did after coming out?
You know, I think us having dinner, we get to start over, and acknowledging that and giving God the glory for that.
The first meal?
Pizza Hut.
Zaxby's.
The first night of sleeping in your own bed?
Heaven.
Yes.
First post-prison shower or bath?
Without shower
without
shoes, it was almost like your first sexual encounter.
That good?
That good.
What was it like reuniting with Savannah? I mean, I've seen that video.
To see him running towards me and to see the individuals, the correctional officers, not grabbing him, and like he was free. So I think that was just so surreal.
One of Todd's first public outings, a shopping trip to Nordstrom that went viral, with paparazzi in hot pursuit.
I've had to get these poor people here at the Nordstroms to help me escape. Hell, they should have been there 28 months ago.
We get into the Nordstrom, and I'm going about my business, and I look up, and here comes press with long lens cameras running down the middle of the mall. And I said, oh my God. So I said, okay, then you know what? You're not getting the picture. I'm wearing the bag.
Julie largely remained out of the public eye after her release, besides this one picture captured by a Fox News digital journalist, Julie without her signature blonde hair.
So my daughter says, Mom, come with me to the butcher shop.
Well, nobody's going to show her the butcher shop that I've been going to.
She's like, nobody's going to follow us. Nobody's going to follow us. Okay, they did. So that picture's there forever. But that's okay. That's okay. I'm home. That's all that matters.
So how did the Chrisleys end up in federal prison? In all, federal prosecutors accused the Chrisleys of stealing more than $30 million over the years in fraudulent loans from community banks. Within that time, they also filed for bankruptcy. The indictment calling them career swindlers. The Chrisleys pleaded not guilty, maintaining their innocence.
The heart of the defense here was that they didn't even know that this had happened. They blamed their accountants, saying they're the ones who filed these documents. They're the ones who were lying, and they had no idea. Prosecutors presented a lot of documents here to try to demonstrate that they had engaged in this fraud, like false bank statements, audit statements, invoices. So they used all of these together to try to show this wasn't just a mistake, this wasn't an error, this was intentional.
In the end, the jury convicted the Chrisleys along with their accountant. A judge sentenced them to prison and ordered the Chrisleys to pay $17 million in restitution.
What, if anything, do you think you did wrong?
I trusted the wrong person.
What does redemption mean to you?
I don't really look at redemption because I know that what we were convicted of we didn't do. So I'm not trying to redeem anything. I think that certainly trying to prove what happened and getting the truth out there and exposing those that was involved in it is important to me.
Savannah says she worked hard to get her parents that presidential pardon.
You said that people were accusing you of all manner of things.
Yes.
Sleeping your way to the pardon, paying your way to the pardon. How did you handle that kind of talk?
What was challenging for me was the fact that this talk came from women. So we as women have the ability to build each other up and tear each other down. And I worked for 2.5 years. I did not have a single political connection. I went to DC. I forced myself into rooms I was never invited into.
It was so disheartening, but not unexpected. Would I have slept with someone to get one of my children home? I'd have sold tickets to the show that my daughter didn't have to do.
Yeah, I did, but certainly did not.
Todd and Julie have paid some of the $17 million in restitution they owed. They say they will try now to get that money back.
They got really lucky. A jury convicted them, and appeals court upheld the conviction. They can argue all they want that it didn't happen, but a jury didn't buy it, and an appeals court didn't buy it. But Donald Trump did, and they should be incredibly grateful.
There are some who feel that you were convicted by a jury of your peers, that the appeal was not granted, and that you didn't serve your time.
We were convicted by a jury of our peers, were we? I didn't see multimillionaires in that jury box. I didn't see people that were in the film industry in that jury box. I saw people in a heavily Democratic county, and a judge allowed them to paint us as this white family who has white entitlement and who has money to burn.
The Chrisleys say their time behind bars has left a lasting mark, largely thanks to the people they met inside prison.
They stood in the lobby and they chanted and said, "Don't forget us." And I'm not.
I have met some amazing women. I've met some women that I will be friends with till the day that I die.
And you talked about some of the skills that you learned and took
I
part
stayed busy.
in.
I stayed busy. I was determined.
Did you really
to stay
drive
busy.
a forklift?
I did. I absolutely did. I stayed busy every day. I was going to keep my mind active, my body active.
I stayed in a routine. I got up, I showered, I shaved, I put on my clothes, I went to the library, I did my emails, I called Savannah every morning, and then I went and worked out. And then I read a lot. I read 116 books while I was gone. I read a lot of Maya Angelou, and that was very helpful. That was very helpful.
And there was a lot of talk that you got jacked during that time.
I'm certainly in better shape than I was when I went in.
This man couldn't even make it through a workout session.
I didn't want to.
With me before he went in. And now he's like, all right, let's go work out.
But it was my saving grace. It was my sanity.
Your wife is driving forklifts and you're
But she's
lifting
always been
weights.
different than me. I mean, like, you put me in federal prison, I'm not working for you. I'm not giving you no free labor. I'm not doing any of that. I'm here to do time, not your chores.
Now that the Chrisleys are reunited, they're finding their new normal, which includes a new reality show on Lifetime. But the question is, will viewers welcome them back into their homes?
You know, there were people that loved Chrisley Knows Best, but then there were people that didn't. You know, so I think you had to develop this thick skin when you're in television.
I've always told my children that it doesn't matter what someone else's opinion is of you unless it causes you to question who you are at your core. No one's opinion of me has ever caused me to question who I am at the core. So I don't worry about someone else's opinion.
For much more, tune in to The Chrisleys, Life After Lockup, streaming now on Hulu and Disney+. When we return, Beyoncé's concert car-tastrophe. What happened when the superstar had to sit sideways in Texas? And finally tonight, a scary scene for Beyoncé in Houston. The superstar on her Cowboy Carter tour, singing her Grammy-nominated 16 Carriages from a prop car high above the crowd, when the vehicle suddenly tilted to one side, causing Queen Bee to stop the song and hold on while her crew maneuvered her to safety.
If I fall, I know y'all catch me.
Ever the pro, the star thanked her fans for their patience. Beyoncé's company Parkwood Entertainment later releasing a statement on Instagram calling the incident, quote, a technical mishap. And that's Nightline. Thanks for staying up with us. Good night, America.